Hello there, buckaroos. This is Physical Science Unit 2, Lesson 1 on probability with coins and Pascal's triangle. This is the Delso-Schaefer edition. So we will start by telling you what probability is. Probability is the likelihood something's going to happen by chance, and that's not because of anything we did or an outside influence. It's used in science to determine if a treatment causes or assists something to happen. When you do an experiment, you have a control, and then you have an experimental group. So you want the difference in the experimental group to be enough to say, yes, there's a difference, and it did not just happen by chance. It happened because of a deliberate thing that we did. Probabilities will add up to 1. 1 of 1 or 100% are 3 ways to do that. Just think of a whole pie, and when you put the whole pie together, it makes 1 pie or 100% of that pie. When you flip a two-headed coin, and this is a two-headed coin, you can see it's heads on this side, and then it's also heads on this side. Every time I flip this coin, it's going to end up heads. So the odds of flipping a head are 1 or 100%, and the odds of flipping a tail are 0 because it's not possible. A tail is not one of the possibilities using a two-headed coin. All probabilities are expressed as fractions or a percentage. They are all between 0 and 1, and they are all in fractions or percentages. When you flip a common quarter, and we'll just use this one that we have marked, this would be the head. I've got the little red circle with H on it, so that's the head. And then I've got the tail here. When you flip a coin vigorously, the odds of hitting a head are half the time, or 50%, or 0.5. And the odds of flipping a tail are 0.5, half the time, or 50%. Okay, so there are 2 different variables, and we have 1 coin. To determine odds, you need to know all possibilities that can happen. So, in the first example of the two-headed coin, it only has the 1 possibility, and the 1 possibility for it is heads on both sides. The possibilities with a regular coin, a normal quarter, it has a head side and a tail side. So half the time you can flip the head, that's 50%, or 0.5, and then tails, half the time when you add both those up, 0.5 and 0.5 equals 1, 50% and 50% also equals 100%. This is called binary. Bi means 2. Your computers are all based on binary systems, and when there are 2 possible outcomes or variables in a binary computer system, it's either on or off. Now we can construct a diagram to show this, and this is called Pascal's triangle. Pascal developed this years and years ago, and it shows the odds for each one of the possibilities in a binary system. So we need a picture of the Pascal triangle diagram, and I'm going to have to dig that up for you. Let's see if I can do that. I bet I can. Yep, here it is right here. Now, this is Pascal's triangle. And in Pascal's triangle, at the very top, there is 1. If you only have 1 possibility, like a two-headed coin, the odds of that 1 possibility are 100%, because that's what's going to happen every time. If there are 2 possibilities, using just 1 two-sided coin, you bring the 1 down on the outside edges of this triangle. So you have a 1 here and a 1 here. With 2 possibilities, in our case a head or a tail on a common quarter, you can have a head, you can have a tail. Heads are half the time, tails are half the time. When you add those up, it's 2 of 2, a half and a half, and that's 1 or 100%. So you have all your possibilities. In the third level, we complicate life a little bit and we use two-sided coins. So in this case, we bring the 1 down on the outside again on this side, we bring it on this side, and then you take the two numbers here and you add those together on the inside. So you have a 1, 2, and a 1. There is one way with two coins to get a head and a head. Okay? Both coins turn to a head. There are two possibilities to get a head and a tail. Now, it's called position specific. A head and a tail, let's say this is the red coin and this is the black coin. Head tail is different than the red coin being a tail and the black one being a head. So there are two ways to do that. And then there is one way to get two tails. So, two heads, 1/4 of the time. A head and a tail is half the time, 2 of the 4, and two tails is 1/4. You add all those together and it adds up to 100%. Now, with 8 possibilities, using 3 two-sided coins, we bring the 1 down on the outside again, bring it down on this side, and then we have 1 and a 2 here. We add those together to get this 3. The 2 and the 1 here we add to get this 3. There is one way with 3 two-sided coins to get 3 heads. There's only one. There are 3 different ways to get 2 heads and a tail. So you have a head, head, tail, the head, tail, head, and this would be like the red coin. This second one would be the black, and this would be the yellow coin. And we'll show that a little better here in the PowerPoint. You also can turn the center one back over, and it would be the tail, and that would be the head on the outside. So you turn you left this first coin the same, and then you turn it over, its tails, and you have 2 heads. But in all 3 of these situations, there are 2 heads and 1 tail. There are 3 different ways to get 1 head and 2 tails. And here is tail, head, tail, and tail, tail. That should be a H or a head there. I'll fix that. And then this is 3 tails. There's only one way to do that. To get 3 heads, there are 8 possibilities. 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 is 8, and that's where the 8 comes from. Okay? And 1/8, 3/8, 3/8, and 1/8 is 8 over 8, and that's 100%. So this is Pascal's triangle of binary possibilities. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Now, you bring the 1 downs on the outside, we talked about that, and then the numbers in between are added, and that determines all your possible combinations. The units or the coins used, if you just use 1 two-sided coin, it would be 2 to the first. Okay? A 2-headed coin is just 1, and using the common quarter is the 2. So 1 to the first power, the 2-headed coin, there's only one possibility, heads only. 2 to the first means you have a 2-sided coin and you're using one of them, and you can have a head, it equals 2, which is a head or a tail. If you have 2 two-sided coins, there are 4 possibilities. Head, 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 tail. This should be tail, head, and tail, tail. I'll fix that too. So this is simple binary probability. It is position specific. Now we complicate life with 3 coins, and we have 8 possibilities. 3 heads, 2 heads and a tail, head, tail, head, head, tail, 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 head, head, tail, head, tail, 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 head, and then tail, tail, tail. So there are 8 possibilities using 3 coins. We'll have a lab sheet that we'll use here in a bit, and you'll work from that. You're going to use marked quarters, and the marked quarters will look like this. You'll have a red one, and it has H on one side, and it has T on the other. You have a black one, same trick. A yellow, which is nice highlighter yellow. I put a little asterisk on it because it looks a little bit close to the green, and then we may use a green one here in a little bit. Okay, So that's the 4 coins that you are going to use. And there will be a paper box top that you flip them into so we don't chase them all over the lab. All right, so that is what we'll do. There is a lab sheet. We will get the lab sheet on the Canvas site so you can look at it. Hopefully you can print it. If you can't print it, we'll show you how to make an answer sheet. But that's going to be the activity for the day. And I will see you the next round, crew.